Welcome to the Cougar Connection podcast. Today we are talking to the March Teacher of the Month, Mrs. Van Tine. Congratulations and thank you for spending some time with me today. So, start off real easy. Well, maybe not so easy. What inspired you to become a teacher?
Oh, man. You're taking me back. I think what inspired me to become a teacher is that I always knew that I wanted to make a difference and serve people. Wasn't sure how I wanted to do that. But I also knew that one day I'd probably have a family. And so having summers and holidays off was really important to me.
Yeah.
So that kind of pushed me in the direction of becoming a teacher. When I was younger, my dad, he worked a lot of holidays. And so I knew that that was a type of job that I wanted where I could, work but still be off with my family. That was really important to me.
Yeah. Okay, so you teach art and you teach middle school and high school art, right?
I do, yes.
It's a lot of kids you see every day.
It's a lot of kids.
Yeah. And everyone has those different classes, but it's a lot of age levels because it's 6th grade through 12th grade.
Yes.
You have so many kids. So, if you could change your grade level and your subject, what would you teach?
Oh, that is a tough one. I love my subject area. The age range is really wide with going from like you were saying, 10 to graduates, 18.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd change much. I do really like the broad spectrum of ages, but I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But I think driver's ed would be pretty exciting to teach. Not that I would ever do that, but I think that would be exciting.
It might be exciting. You might get a little nervous sometimes. I'm sure Mr. Carr has a few times where he's a little
I think that would be exciting.
nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah. Might get your blood pressure up a little bit if you need it. We all know Mr. Rowley doesn't. What life lessons has prepared you for this time in your life? I mean, you're teaching literal 11, 12-year-olds, 18-year-old, 19, 17, all throughout that range. And you're teaching them how to create this art that only they can create with their creative minds and everything. And how does that work for you? How did growing up prepare you to teach these? How is it different? Teaching a grade or a middle schooler versus a high schooler and
Yeah. I think that there are a lot of similarities amongst the ages.
right.
But some of the differences would be I get a lot of middle schoolers that are really hard on themselves. They're really down on their work. They try to make everything, they think they want it to be perfect. And it's kind of like an unlearning. I spend a lot of time kind of deconstructing or teaching them how to unlearn some things where they've felt pressure to be and to be something where they have a really high standard that they feel like they have to fit into. And so I think that part of my job is kind of neat, seeing kids kind of learn how to let that standard go, to be themselves and to create freely without a lot of expectations and pressure to be something they're not, and to enjoy art for the beauty that it is, to create and to really find their own style and find their own way to create and be expressive, I think, is really great. High school, they're a little bit less stuck, I think, in that mindset. By the time they get a little bit older, they start to realize the value within what they create a little bit more, so there's a little bit more freedom and liberty there. And so then it's just harnessing the techniques and growing in those skills. So.
Yeah. I feel like I would be one to I need it to be perfect, and it's not perfect, and I would get down on myself, but whatever. Did you always know you wanted to be an art teacher? Because it sounds like you kind of knew that you wanted to be a teacher, but did you know that you wanted to be an art teacher?
I've always been an artist. I used to want to be a Disney animator. Found out that was really competitive by the time I, became 18 and had to decide on college.
Yeah.
Technology was just exploding as far as the arts go and its influence in that area. And I just felt kind of out of the loop. It was a little overwhelming. It was super competitive. And I just decided that maybe it wasn't for me. I also didn't want to move too far from home. But it just kind of put two puzzle pieces together, my talents and enjoyment of the arts, and then also just serving people and wanting to have that flexible schedule with my time. It just kind of fit together. My initial major was special ed. I really also enjoyed working with special ed students, and so that was kind of close to a minor for me in college. So as far as did I always know? Not really. I just kind of fit the two pieces together, and I just kind of made it work.
Made it work. You do what's best for you, and now you still get to create art all the time, all day, every day, kind of, really. So that would be pretty cool. I feel like if I had something that I was super passionate about, like art, and then I got to do it and teach kids how to do it every day, that would be something that I would really love to do.
It's a pretty fun job.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite quote that you would that you would tell students to take after, or take with them after high school?
Yeah, I wrote it down.
Okay.
So I'm going to read it. It's actually two of them from one of my favorite movies of all time. By the way, I don't actually like movies. People who know me really well know that I'm not really a movie person, but I do have a favorite movie. My favorite movie is The Little Prince. It's an animated stop motion kind of mixed film. And there are two quotes in that movie that I really love and I think would be really important for kids graduating or going through high school to take with them. One of those quotes says, and it's from one of the characters, it says, "And now, here's my secret, a very simple secret. It is only with the heart that one can see rightly. What is essential is invisible to the eye." And that's one of my favorite quotes because I feel like, through life we can get so stuck on working so hard, striving towards a goal, or if you're anything like me, at least that's something I'm always, pursuing. But at the end of the day, those aren't necessarily the things that are really essential to us as people. I learned that during COVID. I almost lost my dad during COVID. And so that was something that I learned, is that really things that are essential are unseen most of the time when it really comes down to it. The second quote from that movie says, "All grown-ups were once children, but only few of them remember it." And I love that quote because it's important to find joy in all the things you do in your life. Don't take yourself too seriously.
Yeah.
And in the good, in the bad, there's so many blessings that we have. Just to count all of those and make sure that we hold them close.
Yeah.
Those are two
very powerful quotes. I mean, the
first
one's
movie's amazing.
Yeah, the first one's super powerful, and then the second one is just like, yeah, you're right. Like, I should probably not be too hard on myself right now, but yeah, that's probably the best quotes we've had all year. I'm gonna say it. Sorry, guys.
Nailed it.
Yeah, you did nail that. You nailed it right on the head too. So what was your very first job? I worked at Dairy Bell Uptown.
Nice.
Pretty nice place to sling some ice cream. What was your first
job? That crunch stuff is just, it's awesome. My first job, I was a camp counselor at Camp Kearney through the Southside Mission in Peoria. Worked there as a counselor. It was my first job. I had to stay out there and live at the camp for 8 weeks straight. And each week we got a different group of kids in. It was... it was great, but it was hard.
Yeah.
Sorry, there's just a lot of words that come to mind. It wasn't bad.
Yeah.
It was a challenging job. It was very rewarding, but it wasn't easy.
Right. I mean, you had to deal with kids all day.
Yeah, it wasn't easy. You're out in the elements. It's sticky. There's bugs, and these kids come from the city, and they're terrified of the woods and stuff a lot of the time. But it was a very rewarding job, building relationships with the kids, and it was challenging, but good.
That would be a cool job. Okay, so I'm a very superstitious person. My whole family is.
I never knew that about you.
Yes. I am very superstitious. I have very many. So is there anything you do, maybe first day of school or a really important day that you would say is a superstition or maybe a tradition that you do? Doesn't really have to be on the first day of school. It could be any day. of the year? All 365, really. Like
You know?
one of mine, I have to put my right shoe on, my left shoe, or my right sock, left sock, right shoe, left shoe.
Wow.
Yeah. So I did it this morning. Yeah.
Nice. Man, I don't
Socks
know.
really tall.
Outside of school, my dad is from Greece, so we just did a tradition we do each year around Easter. You take a dyed red egg that's dyed in beet juice or a bright red food coloring, and like let's say you have one egg, everybody gets an egg, and it's hard boiled, and you hit your egg up against mine, and if mine cracks yours, then I win.
Oh.
And if yours cracks mine, you win. And then you just keep going until you end up with one person with an uncracked egg. And it just represents blessings for the year. And you're supposed to put it in your refrigerator and keep it as it's like a tradition. Like you keep it as a blessings, like you'll be blessed this year. And it's going to be a very good year for your family. And so we just did that last week. That's kind of a family tradition that we do with my dad's side.
Fun.
And then as far as school goes, sometimes each year in a lot of my classes, we do just like a sketch on the first day. And I have students write their name on the back, and they get to just kind of free draw or create and then turn that in. And then sometimes I don't even know my classes or my students real well, especially the younger ones that come in. So I just staple the whole class together and just flip through like a book. And I'm able to kind of get a small grasp into their world and into their style, what they're kind of interested in, what kind of level of skill they have. And it's kind of like a little get to know you. They don't know that. Now they do. But, you know, share a little creative side of them, and that's kind of fun.
Yeah, that would be. See, those are some good traditions and superstitions. Mine are weird. They're really weird. So
that's okay.
Maybe I should get a few that are actually useful in my life. That's okay though. So you talked earlier about how in the arts, technology really changed everything. Tell me a little bit about how it's changed the way that you've taught, because COVID happened. It hit whenever I was in 8th grade, so 4 years ago.
Yep.
4 years ago, and we went all online, and we were in the dark.
Yeah.
We were blind.
Yeah.
So how did that year and a half, maybe 2? I don't know how long we did it, because it was so awful. How did that change how you teach?
Yeah, that was something.
Imagine, how did you teach art on a computer?
Yeah, it was definitely a change. I did the best I could with the resources that I had. It was cool, though, because technology, I feel like, has made the world a little smaller. So there were a lot of communities of teachers online that would kind of band together and share resources. So that was kind of neat. I was able to connect with some of those groups. So it affected my teaching in that I was able to, like, connect with other art teachers pretty easily. And then find out what they were doing. Connect it to principles, techniques, and concepts that I would have done hands-on in the classroom.
Right.
But instead, maybe there was a website or platform or some kind of video that could help kids at home do the same thing. Another thing that was really cool was virtual, like, tours of museums. Technology during COVID and even now has really opened up the world. Even art history, opened up art history, opened up museums and experiences online that you don't have to travel to the Louvre to see, across the world, or to Egypt to see. You're able to dive in online and kind of get kind of a one-on-one experience, even though it's digital. It's still very up close and personal, super cool. So in that way, I think it's been great.
Yeah, I mean, because I've seen some of those virtual tours and anything. You're wearing a Met shirt, right? I thought I saw that. Is it a Met shirt?
Yes, it is.
It is. The Met just happened, by the way, on Monday. I've been to the Met. It was a really fun place to be.
Cool.
And I'm not a big art person, so I looked around a few times, and then I went to the cafeteria place where you sit there, and I just went there.
That's exciting.
Yeah. But I was wondering when you said that, have you been to the Louvre?
I have not. It's on my bucket list.
I'm sure.
For sure.
That'd be so fun. Now, okay, so the Mona Lisa's there, right? Or is it the Starry
think
Night?
So. They may both be there.
Or both? No, that's okay. So, are they, like, in these, like, glass things because I fear people might steal them.
Yes. They are highly protected.
That's
I
good.
believe they are behind like 2 or 3 layers of bulletproof glass. So, you see those movies with all the
Yeah.
lasers and people trying to take precious art. The security is extremely high.
Yeah.
So
So, like,
yeah.
those movies with the lasers and stuff, they probably wouldn't even be able to, like, crack the code.
At
to
this
get
point,
into the Mona Lisa
it
or
would
anything.
be nearly impossible
Ugh.
with today's technology.
Did people throw spaghetti at it?
Somebody did something like that recently, yes.
Saw that.
Yeah, to try to make some kind of a statement. So sad. I know.
So sad.
It was
Why
silly
would you
because it didn't even
disrespect the art?
really affect
They
anything.
just wanted it to be on the
Just-
Mona Lisa so that it was seen in the public, but that's okay.
It was definitely a statement
Yeah,
and
it was a
definitely a
statement.
mess. So
Spaghetti is crazy too. That would get everywhere.
yeah.
That was maybe
yeah.
like I don't know, like a cucumber or something. That's at least a little less messy.
Yeah, true.
I don't know. Once again, congratulations, Miss Van Tine, and thank you for and congrats on your accomplishment, and thank you for taking the time to sit down with me today. Make sure to look out for the next Cougar Connection podcast coming soon to you.